Hello, everybody. Mini Mark here, and we are in a Cube Swiss event. Uh, so let's see what we got. Well, we have Shadow Mage Infiltrator, which is a very good card. Draws cards. Progenitus, if we want to go super deep and just try to make some kind of a crazy deck. Johnny's pretty good. We never had a problem with him. There's also Ancestral Vision. There's a mono black card, some mono red card. Fixing, there's Thoughtseize, so there's a lot of good cards. Shardless Agent's always good. Um, hmm. I tend not to want to pick multicolor cards off the bat, and there's nothing that really is like super good in mono red or like one of the standard decks. So I think I'll just go with Ancestral Vision. Um, just being able to draw 3 cards on turn 4 is pretty good. Can help you restock your hand, and I think it's probably has, uh, you know, just has a lot of impact on a game. Alright, so we get a path for removal, life from the loam, a lot of green. There's a Jace, Architect of Thought, which is always good to have. Recurring Nightmare, which is just silly. Uh, Second creature, return it to your hand, and then return something to the battlefield. I mean, you can do a lot of really broken things with Recurring Nightmare. There's also an Inferno Titan for just beef. Um, And then you just get like incremental advantage off of Bitter Blossom. I think it's between Jace and the Recurring Nightmare. Jace goes good with Ancestral Vision because it just gives you the shell of a very control-y deck because you can just continuously be drawing cards and be very efficient while also dealing with their threats. Path to Exile is just like the best removal spell in the game, or in the pack. And then Recurring Nightmare would just be stupid and do stupid things. I think I'm just going to stick with the Jace though. Alright, so there's a lot of, decent amount of fixing here. There's a Hypnotic Spectre, which is very good. Removal spell. Which Chandra is this? It's the old Chandra. Okay. Compulsive Research is very good. Typically, you're going to be drawing 2 cards and then discarding, or draw 3, discard a land. Or you can take a Moloku, which is just, very good because you can untap with it and then make a bunch of illusions. And it's kind of hard to do with a bunch of flying tokens. Um, I mean, you can just take research and just, but there's a lot of, really, really good card draw. And these guys, I think, are just super good. Let's just take Moloku. It's a very good threat. There's also a lot of other things going on here, but I think Moloku's fine. Oh, geez. Him? Alright, well. Oh, there's also Supreme Verdict, Sad Robot. I think that's really it for me right now. Just these 3. So, him is one of those cards that's like really backbreaking if you can get it off. I mean, it's 2 cards at random for 1 card. You also have Supreme Verdict here, which is a very good removal spell. I mean, you can just absolutely destroy like a mono red deck or something like that if you just play it on turn 4. And then there's Solemn Simulacrum, which is incremental advantage. I like the him a lot because it does just let you just destroy somebody's hand, and I think, yeah, we'll go with that. All right, so we got a Tundra, Blood Baron, good fixing and stuff. Search for Tomorrow, Black Sun Zenith, another card that's really good at just wiping out a map. 2 black and X and just take out everyone's creatures. That's typically pretty good to do. Then there's Necropotence. You don't get it to draw stuff, but you do get to pay a life and exile a card to get the beginning of your next end step. So I don't think we're in that deck. I think if we're in blue, we don't really need something like Necropotence. We can be drawing a lot of cards anyways. And I really like Black Sun Zenith as just a way of just telling somebody they can't have what they have. Alright. Well, there's Attention Sphere, Thieving Magpie. Entreat the Angels is really good. Reaver's fine, right? Yeah, it's just a 4/3 with Death Touch. I mean, it's not fantastic. When it hits somebody, they have to discard a card, but I don't know. Detention Sphere is really good here. Thieving Magpie is fine. I think we're just going to take the D-Sphere, though. We could still, pick a bunch of fixing and stuff, but we have to start looking for stuff like that. Alright, so more discard. Just a 1/3 that filters the top of our library for us. Mentor the Meek, but we're not doing like a white weenie strategy, and Curse Catcher, but I'm not really seeing that as being a card that we want. Maybe we just go for some more hand destruction with the Stupor. I mean, there's not really much else here for us, so unless we want just like a card that's gonna filter us a little bit, but alright. Well, there's a Skinrender here. Just a very efficient creature. I mean, you play it on turn 4, you get a 3/3, and you get to probably kill one of their creatures, and if not, you're maiming it pretty terribly. There's also a Messenger, but triple black, I don't think we really want to be going that deep on the black. So yeah, let's just take Skinrender. Well then, there's a Gatekeeper. Could be like mono black with like some blue in it. Mono black's not really the best deck, but it can do some pretty fun things. And with this being the only card we really want, I mean, I don't think you could always take the Reaches just for fixing or Reflecting Pool, but just take the Gatekeeper. Not really much here for us. I guess we could take like an Earthquake or an Encampment. I mean, Bluffs doesn't really do anything for us right now. I guess we could find our way into red. Just take the Earthquake. It's basically a Fireball in the right deck. Yeah, not a lot of people in the red deck, apparently. But we'll take a Hippie. Thawing Glaciers is really slow, but again, we're not really doing anything with anything else here. Wow. Really? Alright, so there's no mono red decks. Sure. I don't think we're gonna storm anyone out, though. I mean, it'd be really cool to, but I don't think that's something that's happening. Looks like we're heavy black now, which is fine. I'll take that. Be black with a little bit of blue for like card draw and stuff. So what did we get? Oh, Mind's Desire for more storm goodness. There's a Mole Drifter, which is just a really good creature. Ink Eyes, which is a good creature because it lets you take a card out of their graveyard and put it under your control. There's a Fetch Land, a Scrub Land, for like the tension sphere fixing. I think it's probably just Muldrifter. I mean, the card's just really good. You know, you can use it for divination, or you can make it 2/2 that does stuff, and then I'm sure we can find ways of abusing that as well. So we'll just take the. Let's see what else. Not really much here for what we want to be doing. So I think we're just gonna probably just end up with the Glacial Fortress. Like I don't think Kusho is gonna go too early. Negate's fine, but I don't know. This pack just doesn't really have much for us. So we'll just take the Fortress. I mean, we could take more disruption of their hand with Mesmeric Fiend or Vendilion Click. We could take a Tutor, but it looks like we're more of a creature-based deck. Could take Urborg. Yeah, whatever. It was before my time. We could take that. That'll fix our land with a lot of these heavy black spells that we have. Which is another reason why Vendilion Click may not be like, you know, the best thing for us. Let's just take the Cleek. Just a very good creature, has flash and stuff. That's always good to have. Alright, so there's a Condescend, Damnation, Inquisition. I don't think we're exhuming in this deck. So, board wipe is good. We already have Black Sun Zenith, and we can have this, but we also have, you know, a decent amount of creatures. You know, we have Gatekeeper, Clicks, Hippie, Skinrender, Miloku, and Muldrifter. But that could change. You know, we could get a lot more stuff. We could continue to pick apart their hand with Inquisition, but I don't really feel like Inquisition's super good in Cube, because you're not gonna be guaranteed to hit stuff. People can take 3 lands, 4 lands, and just some bombs. So I think we're just gonna take the Damnation though, because again, we don't have a ton of creatures at the moment. Alright, there's a Fetid Heath for fixing. There's also a Tragic Slip, Essence Scatter, and an Una's Prowler. Una's Prowler was really good in the Reanimator decks, and we aren't that. I mean, you just discard a card to Una's Prowler, and then reanimate it the next turn. Or even play Una's Prowler the next turn, you discard a card, and then, you know, use one of the cards that require to sack a creature, just sack the Prowler and get the creature back. It's pretty good stuff. So it's like Essence Scatter, Tragic Slip probably are the two. I don't know if we're running the D-Sphere at the moment. Can probably just take the Tragic Slip for removal though. That seems pretty good. Sinkhole for more resource denial. We could also take Rashid Port, but I think Sinkhole is probably the better pick for us. Because our mana is going to be really difficult with all these double black spells and whatnot. That we're going to want to rather have a spell slot used to destroy land than this, which also technically uses 2 land to do something every turn. There's also something we said to Erebos, but I mean, yeah, we can probably get them online with, you know, Hippie and Gatekeeper, Skinrender, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I think that, you know, well, we can probably wheel the Sinkhole. But I think we're going to take it. We'll probably get Erebos back anyways. I don't think either of these cards are super high in people's list of cards that they would like. Well, there's a Bone Splitter, which is good with cards with evasion. We don't really have. We have like a Hippie, a Clique, Mole Drifter, and then Moloku tokens, as well as Moloku himself. There's a Carnophage if we want to get aggressive, but I'm not totally sold on that at the moment. And then there's a Turnabout, which we can just use to tap down somebody's team. Let's take the Bone Splitter. Could always suit up one of our fly guys. Alright, so there's Graveborn Muse, which is kind of like a Phyrexian Arena that's also a creature. And then there's Mishra's Factory, but again, our mana looks kind of difficult right now, and we don't really have a ton of fixing. And our only fixing is the Fortress at the moment. We haven't seen a ton of Dimir style fixing. So we could take the Dismember or the Muse. I think we have card draw. We have a decent amount of that. I want more removal spells though. Just be able to get things out of the way for us. Alright, there's a Scrubland. Again, don't fix this for white, but we're probably not even running Detention Sphere at this point. And then there's Mind's Desire, which is fine. I mean, we're not really going to go off with it, though. We don't have any free spells, real or fake free spells. Unless we go like Ancestral Vision and then Mind's Desire, but it doesn't seem great. We can take like a Pithing Needle just for the sideboard, in case we run into something that's really difficult for us to deal with. I don't think we really want the Crackler, but we can take a Negate and just be able to deal with an annoying Planeswalker or something. Alright, got the Fiend back. I mean, I guess we could just take the Alorb or not running it. Well, Pearl Black, you're getting taken. Ember Hauler or Ranger? So I'll take the Ember Hauler. I don't think it really matters though. I don't take the Reckless Charge. So we really need to prioritize some fixing if we can get it. We're only 2 colors, but the meta isn't exactly fantastic for it. So what do we have? Nothing really for us on the top line. I mean, Dimir Charge is fine. It lets you destroy a tiny creature. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Counter sorcery spells isn't great. There's Upheaval, but we don't have like a lot of mana rocks or anything, so we're not really in the Upheaval deck. Silent Spectre, it's expensive to do, but if you can hit him, it's really nice. But then there's a Future Sight, which is clearly the most powerful card here. The issue being we can't really do anything with it because it's a triple blue card. But that just means we have to go super deep on fixing for the rest of this. Kind of regretting not taking some of the fixing I saw in the first 2 packs, but I wasn't entirely sure what colors I was in. I didn't really want to commit to fixing at the time, which could be wrong. I don't know. All right, so we have Impulse, Pact of Negation, Braids, not really much else for us. So it's really just these 3 right here. I guess Revoker is fine too. If you want to just have a second Pithing Needle effect, that this one's also a creature. So look at the top 4 of your library. Put 1 in your hand, the rest on the bottom. Not bad. It digs you pretty deep and replaces itself, which is always nice. There's the Pact, which we all know what that does, and then there's Braids, but again, I don't think we're really in the Braids deck. If we had like if we had the Bitter Blossom, then Braids would be really good, because that's just funny. You just make the fairy, sack the fairy, and then on their turn they have to sack a thing. and you're basically just taking a damage every turn to abyss them. But I think Impulse is probably it. It can work as mana fixing, kind of, by letting us dig ourselves deeper into our deck to find something that we really want. Well, there's a Basalt Monolith, which is just nice. We don't have a lot of lands that can let us abuse Palancron. Memory Jar is fine. I mean, there's also Go for the Throat for removal and Night of Infamy for a creature. Really don't have like a endgame punch. We basically just deny them of things. So maybe we just need like a Night of Infamy just as like a to put pressure on them. Removal's good though. Alright, Blood Gift Demon. That's really good. Forbid's also very good, but I think we need something like this, which is just can take over a game if it sticks, and just let us beat down with it. Still not seeing fixing though. At least not for what we have. Alright, O-Stone, which is a really slow Wrath, but I don't think we really need that. We already have 2 Wrath-like effects. And there's like a Mom and other good stuff, but all we really have here is a Painseer. We don't have like a ton of 5 CMC cards, but I think it's enough that we don't really want to play it. We're not a super aggressive mono black deck, which is what I think the Cube has this in for. I mean, I guess we could just take the Oblivion Stone, just so we have another Wrath effect. Jeez. I mean, we might just have to take the Bad River over the Narcolepsy or the Hinder. I mean, it's not good fixing, but we really do need it because we have, triple blue and then double black, triple black. Yeah, I don't like having that to make that pick, but I really don't see another way of us going there. All right, so then we also get this, which is really good fixing for us, which will let us do a lot more. There's also a Tendrils, more Storm stuff, but again, we didn't get into a Stormy type deck. So we'll just take the fixing. Psychic creature, destroy creature. I don't really see us being able to go off with that though. I think it's just the Fathom Seer. I mean, being able to flip it and just draw 2 cards off of it is pretty good most of the time. Or you can just pay 3 mana for a 2/2 if you'd like really need to. Can also use it to tap 2 mana, flip it, and then you get to play one of the mana back again. To, give you a little extra stuff. Alright, so we have Pact and we have Braids. I mean, Braids does give us the advantage of when we play it, we then pass the turn, and then they have to deal with it. Pact Negation is also good as like a surprise tactic, so I think we'll just take the Pact. Because I still don't think we're doing enough. Alright, so if it's a land card, to get to make someone big, I mean, it's mostly just mono red spells. We'll take like the Palinchron, I guess. In case somebody does sit there with the really good deck. Yeah, no one's in mono red. So I guess we'll take the Flare, because we have so few creatures. We really can't afford to have them getting themselves killed. Take a Painseer, or Color Sort, Show All. Rude Awakening is not a card I enjoy playing against. Then we have the Silver Knight for value, I guess. Does a non-zero number of things. So our deck has terrible mana, but luckily we can fix that by just drawing really well. Alright, so let's see what cards are definitely going in. Well, let's just put cards in and then see what we want to do. Nope. So we're kind of like a resource denial, just to do good things deck. You know, not exactly the crisp plan that you want in a cube, but you know, it works. Is there a card that we really don't want? I mean, Future Sight's super powerful, but it's really hard to cast. I guess we don't really need the Oblivion Zone if we already have 2 Wrath effects. We don't really need a third one that takes 8 mana to destroy everything. Alright. Let's add our fixing, quote unquote, with the glaciers, the ruins, and the Bad River. Let's see what this says. Can do 8/6. Like super badly needed the double black in the early game for our like really efficient stuff. And then Bad River can find either of these Sunken Ruins, just filters really well, and then Thawing Glaciers can fetch what we need. So yeah, sure. Ugh. My kingdom for a dual land or shock land, because I can't remember what either of them are called. Underground Sea, and I'll take a Dimir Aqueduct, but that's the Karoo land. Doesn't matter. I'm wasting your time. I'll see you guys in round 1. Bye-bye.